Hello you guys, it's Wayne from One-on-One Animation. I've had a lot of people ask me about how do you clean up your animation roughs? How do you transfer them from being the rough stage over to the cleanup stage? So I've created this little video here and I'm going to show you the process with 3 keys. And what I mean by that, you'll see it in the video. I have 3 roughed out keys and I'm going to show you how you go about it as far as transferring those roughs into cleanups from one drawing to the next drawing to the next drawing. So as I go through the process here, I'm going to speed it up. I don't want you to be bored, just me working at speed, but I do want you to understand that I am drawing slower than it looks on the video. I'm taking my time. Cleanup, you got to slow down and take your time and make sure that the cleanup drawing has the same energy in it as your rough drawing does, but it's cleaned up and you got to solidify your drawing. So let's get going here, and I'm going to give you a narration over the video as I'm going through the process. All right. Okay, so what we got here is these are the roughs of Rascal. There are only 3 keys, and we can see Rascal's just doing a quick, simple take, and these are the roughs. And then these are the roughs just slowed down. And I want you to be able to see how rough these are. This is what I did as I was animating, so I didn't have to worry so much about that final cleanup line. I was just freed up to feel the energy of the movement, the attitude of Rascal, and he just does that quick little take. So here I am, and what you can see here is the ghost drawing, which is a layer below. It's like I put it on the light table and it's a piece of paper underneath a brand new piece of paper. And then what I'm doing here is I am much slower than it looks right here. I am putting in the cleanup. I'm solidifying the drawing. I'm realizing the drawing. And I just keep working it. I'm going into it with more of a sculptural feel, like with the eyes and the ear. I'm just trying to put that final line around it, but I'm trying as best I can not to lose any of the energy that you get from your initial animation drawing. A lot of times when you're working rough, even though it's out of drawing a little bit, it still has a lot of energy. I want you to understand that it's got, because you're in the zone at the moment and you're animating, you just are putting more energy into it, and it's got more life into it. Usually when you go to cleanup, it will take a little bit of that life out. So we'll just continue on here. And I'm just figuring out, I want to show the form of the hair that's showing the direction of the head. And this one, I want you to understand, even though I'm cleaning it up right now, I'm still staying a little bit loose. You can see in certain areas where I put in, some lines that are overlapping and not quite as clean. You can also understand that you got this underdrawing there. That will be gone when I'm done with the final cleanup. And what I meant by that is the ghost drawing that I am using as reference to make my cleanup. Okay, and I just keep working it, keep realizing the drawing. And you can tell this is taking a while. When you do a whole batch of cleaned up drawings, it can take a while, and you can see where in the eyes there, I've put more time into it. I have a more three-dimensional feel where the eyes are following that eye line. His right eye is going away in space, getting a little smaller. Okay. And that's it. That's basically, I'm not completely finished with this drawing. I'll explain to you why a little later on in the video. I'll explain to you why. It's because I flipped the drawings and I need to see them in sequence to make little changes here and there. That's what cleanup is all about. So that's the first cleaned up drawing. And here we got the second one. And there again, you guys, you can see that rough, see the roughs, and it's got more energy into the lines. And this isn't a real rough, but it's rough enough. It would be what I would call a tie-down drawing that I would hand over to the assistants to do the cleanup. So now he's going down. This is the anticipation of his head going down. Again, just solidifying the drawing, realizing it. But I want to try to keep that like right there in the mouth. You can see I pushed that mouth out a little, just a little bit more, just to make the expression a little stronger. And what that was, let me show you here. What that was, when I flipped the drawing quickly there, right there, I was flipping the drawings back and forth to see them, how they're relating to each other as I continue on. You got to make sure, you always want to keep flipping your drawings to make sure that your cleanup drawing is holding the same energy as your rough, like I keep saying, but you also want to make sure that you're not going off track. You want to make sure that you're following along with the initial roughs, meaning the arcs, the volumes, everything in the drawing is staying consistent and having the same feeling. You don't want to change the drawing. See, you can see there where I'm flipping it back and forth, and I've changed my mind right there. I'm putting in a little bit darker line to show form, and then what I did was I came out around this line right there to make sure that I didn't lose the quality of that rough drawing. And right here I went a little bit darker there to show this form of his hair. By the way, Rascal's got a new hairdo. He's got more of a 50s Elvis type hair. For 2021, that's what I'm thinking. The new Rascal. Okay, so there I am flipping it. There's the second finished, cleaned up drawing. Don't pay attention to that ghost drawing underneath. That will be gone. That's just the layer that I'm using. And here's the third one. So I'm going to pause it there. Look at that ghost drawing in gray. You can see that it's much freer, looser. You can see where I got thick lines to barely showing any information. But this is when I come into cleanup. On this eye right here, I want you to understand, I made his left eye come up and stretch larger just to make the expression a little stronger. You can see that compared to the ghost drawing. There I am. I'm flipping the drawings, making sure that everything is moving as it's supposed to from my rough drawings. Putting in it really comes down to detail when you're doing cleanup. If you want to take your drawings, that's the thing. If you want to take your drawings to this stage of cleanup, I do want you to understand this. It will take you more time, and it will. The process slows down a lot. You don't have to take it to this level, but this is what they do in feature quality animation. Okay. And again, there I am. I move that ear. You can see that ear right there, his left ear. You can see where I moved it up and to the screen left a little bit, pulled it in a little bit, because that's more in drawing, more realized, and looks more three-dimensional. And there I just continue on, keeping it simple, you guys. You know, I'm always talking about simplicity. You want to keep your drawings, it's complicated enough. You just want to keep the line work down to a minimum. There you can see where I had put in extra lines to show the form of his hair. Again, just realizing the drawing. Darkening in the eyelids. That's part of cleanup. And right there, what I did was very quickly, in here what I did was I took out some of the construction lines, and that's also what you do in cleanup. I also want you to understand, if you're working on paper, you can you know, in the old days, you would do it on with a blue pencil that was non-photo. And what I mean is you would draw in blue, get the drawing completely solidified in the blue, and then they would go back in with graphite and flush it out that way. Put in that final clean line in graphite, because a lot of movies are stylized. Sometimes you'll see a commercial or movies where the contour line will be thicker than the rest of the lines. It's just up to the art direction, and this is just your basic standard type of cleanup drawing here. So the non-photo, if you're working on paper, you try that and see if that works. What I used to do, I didn't do that much cleanup, but with my tie downs, or if I wanted to make my drawings, let me tell you about this. If I wanted to make my drawings really cleaned up, this is just my process. What I would do is I'd work rough in graphite, and then I'd get a kneaded eraser, rub it down with a kneaded eraser, and then I'd put in a line about to this quality, and then hand it off. If it was a scene that was very, very, you know, sensitive and had a lot of subtleties in it. So here we're finishing up the last one, and now you can see I've taken the layer of the rough, I've turned it off, and now it's just the cleanup layer. And what I'm doing now is I'm just going into it, flipping it back and forth with those three main keys, darkening in spots, and now we can see it. And I would even go in, to be honest with you, a little cleaner than this. But there's the cleanup to the rough. Here's the roughs again, and back to the cleanup. So that's really about it as far as it goes. So thank you for watching.